Hi everybody, welcome back. It is Tuesday night and that means it is time for Tuesday Night Cocktail Club. Tonight's cocktail recipe is a French bitter. This is a cocktail that I came up with the other night. I was at a French restaurant waiting patiently for a table and the bartender said to me, hey, in America, people don't really drink vermouth as they do in France as an aperitif. And so we're gonna fix that tonight by making a cocktail, the French bitter. It's not too bitter, it's more like bittersweet. And it's easy drinking, so we're gonna make that recipe tonight. The other thing is, I keep always looking for ways to use up my vermouth. It really doesn't sit that great if you wait too long. After a few months, it begins to turn, and you got to use it up. Other than making a Manhattan or a Negroni, and so we're gonna use some of that up. And so stay tuned. We're gonna mix up a French bitter cocktail. This exclusive cocktail club meets weekly to mix drinks, trade tips, and explore the history in every glass. No paywall, no dues, but the handshake, that stays secret. Okay, everybody, we're gonna make a French bitter cocktail. To me, this is a use what you have cocktail. In other words, like I said, you're gonna use up your vermouth. You might have some amaro you don't use. You might have some port you're gonna use. Those are the other ingredients in the cocktail. But it's really a French cocktail because I'm using a French amaro and a French vermouth. And then, obviously the port is from Portugal. But the amaro I use is Amer Picon. I have tried for years to get this in the US. Somebody mailed me a bottle, so loyal customers and loyal viewers mail me stuff. Anyways, the Amer Picon is a French orange peel based amaro. Amaro, of course, is Italian for bitter. Amer is French for bitter. Like so many alcoholic ingredients, it started its life as a tonic to help people when they were sick, and then it became people enjoyed them. But Campari and Fernet Branca and those things are the more common ones. Obviously, if you can't get this, you could substitute in. I also like the Amaro Chiacharo, but there are other ones that have orange peel elements to them. But it's like with so many of these cocktails, you see so many people making them and tell you have to use this particular brand of whatever, or that amount of this. I mean, you can substitute and work your way through these things. I always like to say, mix to the taste, not to the text. Don't necessarily be wedded to that recipe and kill yourself if you can't find the exact brand. Anyways, and so the Amer Picon was invented by a French soldier in Algeria. His name was Amer Picon. This was in 1837. He needed something to ward off disease. It originally had quinine in it. It had genitin in it. It had orange peels in it. And so he came up with this mix. It became popular in France. Even now, I think it's widely drank in France. I don't think it's not imported necessarily to the U.S. I think the French even kind of look down on it. I think it's a little bit of a lowbrow thing. They mix beer with it, and they make punches with it, and so I really like. But I like it, and it's used. I use it, and also in a Brooklyn cocktail, which is one of the key ingredients to that. But so there's the amaro, and then of course there's the sweet French vermouth, which compared to the Italian versions is less sweet. It's more elegant. They have their own tradition. I mean, obviously Dolin is well known, but Martini and Rossi and Cinzano are the Italian ones. They're lighter and they're sweeter. This has a little more elegance to it. I think the spice mix is a little more sophisticated, a little more complex. Again, this too was invented in Chambray, France, up in the Alps. And then the final ingredient is port, obviously from Portugal. I'm using a tawny port, which is less sweet than the ruby port. But, again, you have to adjust everything to your taste. And so those are the three main ingredients. And then also just one other thing, I will say this whole cocktail feels, to me, is inspired by David Leibovitz, Drinking French. This is a great book. I think he really focuses on the whole world of French cocktails, which I don't really think is explored all that much here in America. Certainly a lot of French influence in all kinds of American culinary things, but I don't really know that we drink a lot of French cocktails, and so that's also what's inspired me here. And so the build for my version of this is 1.5 ounces of the vermouth, and then 1.5 ounces of the amaro, and then 3/4 of an ounce of the port. And then I also think it really, because I think it really benefits from a couple of dashes of orange bitters. I have Angostura orange bitters. And then, you just stir it. And you have the bitters. And then right into the glass. Strain it right in there. And then I have a garnish of orange peel, express the oils, and there's the French bitter. Could be served on ice. Putting another cube in there. And there you have it, a French bitter. So let me give it. Boy, it's very elegant. I do call it a low ABV cocktail. I don't know how low ABV it is. It's very, very tasty. The club members who tasted it all said it tasted a little bit like sangria. I can see that. But I feel like it has the French elegance with the vermouth and the French amaro and the port. The port really does give it body, and so and the bitter and the bitters really kind of round it out too. It's bittersweet. It's very sophisticated. It does really call for that. That it does feel like an aperitif at a French restaurant. It's a sipping cocktail. I would say on a bitter, on a tart, bitter, sweet scale, I would give it a 3. It's solid in the middle. It's not terribly sweet. I call it a bitter, but it's not like a 2 or a 1. I think it's a 3. And it does, I guess why I keep thinking of it as low ABV is it's really not boozy. I mean, it is like a strong it is like a strong red wine in terms of alcohol content. The vermouth is probably 20%, and this version of the Amer Picon I have also is probably 20%, and the tawny port, I don't know, I mean, here I go guessing, 19.5. So there you go. So it is like having a red wine. I don't know, maybe that makes it low ABV. In any case, it is a great thing to have. It's a great drink. It's bittersweet. It's easy to make. You could also just make it in a glass. But I think the dilution does help it. And it's a complex and complicated adult flavor. So I highly recommend it. And there you have it for Tuesday Night Cocktail Club. Another cocktail recipe. Next week, I don't know, I feel like I need to do something with rum. Every week I tell you what I'm going to do and then I do something different, but I really do need to do something with rum. I feel like the summer is winding down and I haven't really made a rum cocktail, so that's where I'm leaning. Anyways, tune in next week. Please like and subscribe. This is the channel where you get pro tips for your home bartending needs. And again, try making a French bitter cocktail, share it with your friends and family, and I will see you next week.